Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off the checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night CrossFit Talk. I'm Scott Schweitzer. She is Jamie Latimer. Bringing the gun show every week.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm all bundled up in a hoodie, and you're going sleeveless.
Yep. Still feeling festive.
So listen, every time I looked at your Instagram, you were on a boat, on a lake. I was so jealous. How was your 4th of July?
It was wonderful. Like there was like a little bit of clouds a couple of the days, but it was beautiful weather overall, and I got a ton of sun. I don't even know if you can tell, but I have like major raccoon eyes going. But yeah, I got a lot of sun, got to be out on the water, did some sand dune climbing one day, took the dinghies out and watched the fireworks. But yeah, my sister's got a extremely nice boat, and it's wonderful to be included on some of those adventures.
My wife and I just watched Tommy Boy the other night, and every time I hear dinghy, it just makes me howl.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then how was it getting back in the gym?
Rough. I told you that when I got back. I was like, oh, that like 3 days off hurt. I did not feel great on Wednesday. So yesterday was my first day back. We got back to 4th Tuesday, like evening. And I was gonna try to get myself into the gym and we had done a hero WOD earlier in the day with the members, but when I got back, I was gonna try to do it alone, and I could not muster up the motivation. I wish I would have. I think I would have felt better on hey Travis. I would have felt better yesterday had I done a little bit on Tuesday, but sorry, I felt better today.
And how did that all go with
say that again, you broke up to me.
I said we did coach to doing a new bit of programming, and she's staring at the screen like she still can't hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay. So I'm sure Tristan was okay with you taking a couple days off and just clearing the mind.
Yeah, so that was the most stressful thing was we were supposed to come home Monday, and I kind of knew Monday was going to be like a hit or miss day, but I messaged him while I was out there and just like, hey, everyone kind of wants us to stay another day, and I'm sitting here like fretting over what I'm going to miss, and I guess I just kind of need like your approval to like just relax and I mean I know he's going to be okay with it. Like this is technically my off season, so it should I should not be freaking out over a missed day of programming. Like keeping my mind and spirits right is a little bit more important. He was totally fine with it.
Yeah. So you feel good now that you've been back a couple days?
Yeah.
Yep. I am sorry if I sound like a robot. I replaced all the cables from last week on this thing, and I have done every YouTube search on how to get the optimal settings. So I'm trying my best.
It's weird. It's kind of like when you first start talking, it like takes it a second to pick you up because a sentence in, you sound great.
Okay, let me look at my settings. And this is so exciting for the audience.
Ken says the sun wipes you out. I think it was partially the sun and partially the alcohol, Ken.
Does that help anything?
You sound okay to me right now.
Okay. So I have the phone hooked up, and I just muted that channel. So hopefully that'll help.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're just joining us, in a couple minutes, we're going to have the director of the Fresh Coast Games, which are coming up in a week and a couple days in Michigan. Yeah, that's where you live. Michigan. On Lake Michigan, correct?
Correct.
And everybody's saying I'm still having bad audio.
I can hear you right now. You sound fine there.
So,
Yes, it is the Fresh Coast Fitness Festival. It is next Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day thing. Russ can talk about that a little bit. Can you hear me, Bruce? And it's on the beach in Muskegon, Michigan, right on Lake Michigan. I love that shirt too. Jody. It's one of my faves. Thank you, Travis.
Russ Mock joining us now. He is on mute. I hope he knows that. And there he goes. Can you hear us, Russ? We cannot hear him. So there's a microphone icon, and then there's a gear that takes you to settings, and you need to make sure that your microphone is set up. And now unmute. Nope. So the other, okay. So Coast Games, they are on Lake Michigan. You have participated before.
Correct.
And you
several times.
Again.
Yes.
And Russ said 1 second. He just texted. So it's all outdoor?
All outdoor. There has been some years that it's like rained. And we've just sort of made deal with it. I don't think it's ever been like like such a bad storm that we couldn't have it that I can recall. The water, so there's usually an event that has swimming, and there has been some years that has been not good, like huge swells, and people getting basically like stuck out there. And it's cold. It can be really, really cold in Lake Michigan still at this time of year. So that immediate jump in, your body like clenches, freezes. That has happened to a few people. So I know they've had years that they've had to like shorten that or take it out.
I think we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
We can.
All right, sweet. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So what's up? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Super excited to have you on. So are you like the director of the Fresh Coast Games?
Yeah, I guess that's my title. Yeah, I own Muskegon CrossFit over here on the west side of Michigan, and then we started doing this little beach thing and kind of started growing it, and we're 8 years in now, so it's been fun.
So you told me by text that it's a little tiny gym. How many members at the gym?
I mean, not tiny, but we probably have a little north of 100 members.
Okay, so decent size.
Yeah.
And how many of those members volunteer to help put on the games?
So that's what makes our event pretty unique, or I'm really thankful for, is the fact that it's crazy. Like probably 75% of those numbers show up. Like it's just crazy. The whole community rallies around it. And I think that's been great for our community. Like everyone kind of almost even knows their jobs now at this point, as far as my volunteers that are in like really key places. And they look forward to it. And we try to make it as fun of a weekend as we can, even though it's probably the hardest weekend of our lives. The joke is they get more of a workout than the competitors. So it's a good time.
Yeah. Volunteering is underestimated in the whole CrossFit space.
Yeah. You hear people talking about how like the judges need to get paid and all this. And like, I hope that we can get to that point. It's just the numbers and the economics. Like you've got to have like pretty good sponsors and be pretty big to be able to like do all that.
So 8 years ago, when you started this thing, how many athletes showed up in year one?
So it was 20 teams, I think. We had 5 platforms. So we were running like heats of 5. There's 10 men's teams, 10 women's teams. And it's just funny to look back at pictures because it's just way, way different than what it used to be. The whole idea came from, we would do beach workouts. So we're probably 5 miles from the beach. And so we would do a beach workout for our gym once a month in June, July, and August. And I don't know whose idea it was, but they were like, hey, let's do a beach competition. And therefore Fresh Coast was born.
Well, 8 years later, how many teams are signed up this year?
We have 210 teams. So nice little 10X. That's pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
When you started, it was one day, correct? It was just Saturday.
Just a Saturday throwdown. Yeah, 20 teams. So there's 60 people. And now we'll have 630 people over the weekend on our beach. So we get people from all over the state. West Michigan's huge, but we draw as far as like Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana. And some people will fly back. If they have friends, like they'll fly in to work out with their friends, which is really cool. Like when that started happening, I was like, oh, I think we're onto something.
Cookville this year.
Yeah, I guess that's the big one. Stressing out about that a little bit this year, but yeah, I guess
you've made it.
Boats coming into town, so.
So, do you have to take any other like special compensation because you have famous people coming in this year?
Do I have to do what?
Like, have any special accommodations, or like think about like just making sure you can get off the floor, things like that?
I reached out to Darren and asked, and those guys, they're so humble and awesome. Like they're like, yeah, we might get a crowd at first, but then people will like sort of get it. I think he's just coming to have a good time. Like he gets to actually have fun competing now that he's sort of retired. So we're just trying to make it as normal for them as possible. If they need anything, then yeah, we'll try to make them as comfortable as possible. But yeah, I think they're just coming up to have a good time. He's making a vacation of it with his family and stuff. So it should be cool.
Very cool.
I think all the people that have come to our event for the last like 8 years, like Jamie, how many times have you been here? Like,
I want to say this is either 6 or 7 for me. I know I wasn't there the first year, but yeah.
So I think all those people are pretty stoked about it. I know, like, I've gotten some texts like, is it true? Is it true? And like, people are excited to like share the floor with him. So that's kind of cool for people.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I'm stoked he's doing my workouts. Like, that's like a dream right there.
Yeah, so speaking of the workouts, you're on a beach. How creative can you get, and how hard is it to program an all outdoor beach event?
There's a lot of risk involved. We've been really lucky with weather. Like the most we ever had was like an hour rain delay, like nothing crazy. Knock on wood. Yeah, you're kind of out there in the elements. Like we're actually in the sand. So like there's like some Florida competitions where they're at like a resort or something like that, and they'll do like one workout in the sand. But we're out in the sand. Like, we take out platforms, and it's a rough day on everyone. Like, just for the athletes, getting from, their tents to warm up to just trudge around in sand is tough. So there's a lot of logistics, but again, that goes on my team. Like, they're willing to put in all the extra work to make it happen. But as far as programming, it's a humongous area. So like, we can do whatever we want out there, which is kind of cool. The city of Muskegon has been really awesome as far as just letting me do whatever. And the sand, obviously, we got to play that up. And then the water, we got to play that up. So trying to use it in lots of different ways. It's a lot of fun every year.
So what I'm hearing you say to our listener, Bruce, is that Michigan beach competitions are way better than Florida beach competitions.
I mean, I'm a little biased, but our sand's a little nicer, and yeah, I'd say we're better off.
Okay, just checking. I want to make sure that well. So, what workout are you most looking forward to? Have you announced all your workouts?
Yep, all the workouts are announced. So I'll kind of just run through like the flow of how we do this. The first workout usually is just like more of a conditioning style workout, get the day started. And the athletes don't have to warm up so much. It's a long day, so we try to get started early. So this year it's like a bike into some burpees over a log, into a run, into the water. And then we get into like more CrossFit type stuff. My favorite workout is probably going to be the last workout. We're introducing rope climbs this year. And so we've always done like a muscle up variation. And we decided to foray into the rope climbing. And then we're coupling that with worms and a new implement that I haven't really seen used anywhere else. I don't know if you guys can tell me or not, but it's a jump rope. Like, I haven't seen it on the main stage. I'm sure other people have used these, but it's like a 3-pound like rope like you would climb with, but we're doing single unders with them, which are just as hard as double unders, if not, I'd say harder. If you agree, Jamie, have you practiced?
I haven't, but I know, like, if anyone watches Hiller in his gains box that I think he got like 2 months ago, he got that rope. So if anyone's familiar with it, that's where you could see the rope.
Mm-hmm. And this year with the whole crossovers and the single unders and going back to basics, I thought it was a nice way to, kind of get on that train. I'm pretty good at double unders, and I max out at like 50 unbroken on these just because it's so exhausting. But it's great because anyone can do a single under. It doesn't have the skill component, but the heft and the grip and just the way that rope moves, it's going to be a new challenge for people. So
in the notes, I think Jamie typed this. So if she wants to take it at your last question.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I said, how difficult is it for you to come up with new, interesting events? Like, you basically tried to implement a new piece of equipment or a something new each year. I know you did the bag that we had to carry somebody on and as the pull. We've done the like water lunging thing, which Legends had done. But you're bringing out you brought out bikes that we went on the sand with the big tires. Now you're bringing in like actual, like almost like an assault bike, right?
Yeah. So we're using the Fringe Sport Raptor bike. So it's kind of like the best world between like an Echo bike and an assault bike. So it's belt driven. So it's got that feel, that smoothness of the Echo bike, but it's got the same frame essentially as the assault bike. So we're going to use that this year.
Yeah.
But one year we did bring bikes out. We had fat tire bikes, and I made you guys ride them. And some people weren't so great at it, so they ended up running the whole thing with their bike. But,
Yeah, I think people will be happy with this bike version for sure.
Yeah.
So what's the schedule like for the weekend?
For the athletes?
Or, like, if you're a spectator and you want to come watch?
Yeah, the gates will open at like 8 a.m. or actually 7 a.m. I think it's 8 a.m. though. And actually it's 7 a.m. because the first workout starts at 8, and then we'll run heats of 15 throughout the day. And then it's a long day, like I said, so we finish around 5 p.m. for the award ceremony. And we've got activities down there for people. So like a lot of people will bring their families, they'll bring up their pop-up tents. And you've got the beach, obviously. We've got cornhole. We're going to have some table tennis out there. We got all sorts of stuff out there for people to do to stay entertained.
So is there a cost of admission?
It's $5, so it's not crazy or anything like that. People were telling me I should like double it because Rich is coming, but I was like, nah, let's not do that.
No need to gouge, right?
No, exactly. That helps us, like, bring in more porta johns and fencing and all this stuff. There's a lot of costs involved. So
Jamie, from an athlete perspective, how much fun is this workout because it's so different?
I love it. Like I like to be out in the sun, and we'd only get that for so long of the year. So I always try to like soak up my outdoor time. And I'm not necessarily super close to a beach, so like getting on the sand, running on it, like it's just a new experience for me that I only get to do a few times a year. So I love it. I love this comp. It's different. I don't do a whole lot of team stuff really anymore. It's teams of 3. I don't think we even said that, but it's same gender teams of 3. He has a masters division. I'm actually with 2 other masters women, so we're in the masters. We won the masters last year. Trying to defend it this year.
Humble brag.
I've got a question, Jamie. Like, I've always thought about like the athletes because it is a long day. Like, do you get an Airbnb and come up here on Friday, or do you stay the whole weekend, or like how's that as an athlete?
So I'm pretty lucky. My sister lives in Grand Rapids and has her boat in Grand Haven. So like I usually sleep at her house on Friday night and then get up and just drive there. And like last year I got super lucky. They drove their boat over to Muskegon, like anchored out, and they all wanted to go to the deck for dinner anyway. And we ate at the deck and got on the boat and rode all the way home to the marina. So I was living it up last year.
You probably slept good after all that. Scott, the best part is we're next to this place called The Deck, and it's like this awesome venue. They have barbecue. Like they've got like 5 different bars. It's like, so a lot of the athletes will go there right afterward and celebrate. So people have missed the podium actually because they're over there and forgot to come back.
So you run it multiple days with different groups each day?
Yeah, so we have an RX day and an intermediate day. So Saturday's RX, so like a little more competitive, and then we tone it back to like the everyday CrossFitter. So like it's intermediate, it's not scaled. So they're still doing pull-ups and toe to bar, but like in our third workout, the guys or everyone has to do max bar muscle ups with time remaining, and in the intermediate they'll do max chest to bar pull-ups in the time remaining.
Awesome. Well, Russ, I want to thank you so much for jumping on with us. I am sure that we will recap this with Jamie after the weekend and see how everything went.
Yep. Thanks for having me on. Jamie, we'll see you in about a week. So
yep.
Let's hope for no weather, and hopefully you can end up back on that podium.
Yeah, and good luck with the setup and everything next week.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was Russ Mock with the Fresh Coast Games. So,
they bring out. Oh, thank you, T. They bring out. Should have talked about this. They always bring out. The FL sports guy. Do you know the photographer? I feel like. So he's there. He's been there every year, at least for like the last 3 or 4 years. And I know he's coming again this year to do photos. And he gets amazing photographs of the athletes. And they usually put together a small. I should have had you bring it up. They usually put together like a 90-second video reel that they put together when the comp is over, and it's like a nice flyby drone shot of the beach, all set up, and like a few people doing some of the events that they catch. It's cool. It's a cool shot.
Yeah. And so Bruce, that is some people. I think he's missing.
I couldn't hear you there.
Bruce, some people. I think he's referring to partying at the deck and missing the podium.
Oh no, I don't think I've ever missed the podium. I haven't missed the podium. I usually have like a cooler and I stay there until the podium's over. Then I go over to the deck.
You have
I have a cooler there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like a montage. Yes. And it's usually one of the years the Baywatch like theme song was the video behind the montage. It was awesome.
Yeah. Do you know, fun fact, do you know who sang the Baywatch theme song?
No.
Survivor.
Survivor. I don't know who that is.
I Am the Tiger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Concert. A lot of people don't know we do this song, but here it is. And they did the Baywatch theme song.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Why is my audio horrid? It was fine today.
And it sounds fine right now.
Is it just Bruce, or are other people in the chat saying I'm horrid?
Well, I can't hear you occasionally either. It might be like when you move. I don't know. Because like you'll be totally fine and then you'll come back in and you'll break up.
Okay.
So Lex says yes. It goes in and out sometimes.
So frustrating. You get all this nice equipment and it doesn't work.
That's why I just stick with my phone.
Okay. So what I'm going to do.
Thanks for coming on, Russ. It was great having you.
All right, I'm going to have to try to get through this.
That sounds good.
I can't get it to plug in. Ugh. Very, very frustrating. All right, so there's some news going on.
Is our first bit of news, we're going to go over the cut schedule.
Yes.
All right.
So it's been reported by multiple sources that there will be a cut schedule this year at the games. Very, very similar to the 2021 games. I'm going to go out here for a second. Hopefully I'm back fast.
Okay. I think it's on games.crossfit.com also now if anyone wants to go read the. So, Travis, you said you tried to come to the event. I'm curious. You just can't get away and make it that weekend? I think you would smash at an event like this, Travis, by the way. And yes, Jody, Rich is coming to the event. Darren has come more than once, and because Darren is actually here in Michigan, and I think Rich just decided to come partner with him this year.
Okay. So can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Do I sound fine?
You sound fine.
Okay. I disconnected the Roadcaster, which means, Lex, I cannot take phone calls now.
Boo. We'll plug it back in when we want to take a phone call.
All right. So,
yeah, that sucks, Travis.
So what did I miss when I couldn't hear anything?
Well, Travis was saying he had tried to get to be able to come to this event, and their title sponsor only allows so many apparel vendors, which super sucks. I really think he would crush it at this.
Yeah.
I think LRX is the title.
It is.
Don't quote me. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the same problem you ran into at MFC, correct? Vindicate. I can send Carolyne the link.
Yeah, that's true.
So how far did we get in the cut schedule?
I just told them that it's available on games.crossfit.com if they want to look at it. I didn't say the days or the number yet.
Okay, so basically what it is this year is after 2 days on Friday night, they will cut from 40 individuals to 30. They will cut from 38 teams to 30. And then at the end of Saturday night, they will cut to 20.
Yep.
Thoughts?
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of cuts. Like, I think there's different events that are better for different people, and like to take some of those opportunities. And then I just think then the points change, like the way the points change. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of cuts. I get it. There's a lot of people who by Sunday just want to watch like 1 or 2 heats and don't want to be bothered. That's just not me. Like I love watching, when we were at semis, I was out there for heat 1 of 6 heats watching to see if anyone had a home run hit. And it's cool to watch somebody like minutes ahead of somebody else that you may not know doing really well in an event and push the later heats for a time. So it's just not my thing, but I just think I'm a die-hard CrossFit fan and want to see everybody compete at everything and where it all shakes out at the end of the weekend.
So here's my biggest beef with it. And it's very similar to yours. I can probably handle a cut on Saturday night to 30. But if you cut after 2 days, you have not given enough tests to be balanced to figure out who moves on to the next chunk.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what's happened in the years past when they've cut those first 10, and it just decreases the ability for people to make a comeback because the gap between first and 10th just becomes different.
Yes.
So and we have special guest, CrossFit legend, hockey legend, Taekwondo legend, everything legend, Carolyne Prevost.
Hello.
Hey.
No, I read the cuts today, and I just don't think it makes sense in the sport of fitness. Like every event, and I've been on both sides of the cuts. I've been cut twice, and I made the cut last year. And it just doesn't make sense. Like our sport, every test is different. A sprinting event is as valuable as a max lift, as a gymnastics couplet, like whatever you want to do. Each test is important. When you make a cut, the order of the events now matter. Because if you flip-flop the events and my strength is at the beginning, like maybe I make the cut, maybe I don't make the cut. Like it impacts too much. And then like you said, Jamie, the point system also changes. So those events on Sunday are now worth way more than the events on, Friday and Saturday, for instance. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you did, like, I think the closest thing to our sport in terms of events, different events, is a decathlon. You do not cut after 6 or 7 events of the decathlon. Each event is different. It's not like a baseball tournament or a hockey game, like where there's elimination brackets. Or 6 or 7 events. Or swimming, when you're doing the same event and you're getting cut as the, sprinting and stuff like that. It's the same event that you're doing and there's cuts. Like, these are different events. It makes no sense. I get that it's maybe logistics that they want to cut, and but like, if they invite 40 should take the test. If it's that much of a problem, invite 30, whatever needs to happen for everyone to take the test. They've all earned their rights to be there. Allow them to do the test. That's my rant. I can't hear.
You're muted.
I didn't know if it was because I was in the car.
So I don't have my headphones, so I'm trying to mute when you guys are talking so it doesn't double play. But so anyway, we have a long way to go in fairness in this sport. And this is just one of the issues. The fact that I don't want to get into that because we've got a lot to do tonight, because that was going to be a big rabbit hole. Maybe that's our discussion next week.
Okay.
There's so many things that aren't fair right now with the way the season is set up. And I don't know if you heard the Cooper talk today, but like the fact that the winner of Africa would finish 56th in the East, like, there's got to be, and I understand you're trying to include all the different countries and grow, but people like you that were in the East, where 20 points separated 7 spots to get to the games like that. And then you have people from Africa going that couldn't even make it in the East. There's just so much wrong. Hey, Lex.
The only thing I was going to say, because you brought up Africa, is a lot of the people who will be below the cut line are from like more of the regions that are like developing countries, where that cost to get to the games is more significant and impactful to them. So with that, like, it's tough to say like, oh, they're coming to compete for a day and a half or 2 days and are still paying the same amount as, or more than everybody else to be there for the full experience. And I mean, they may not be like the top of the top, but like they qualified for their particular region, so they earn their right to be there, and they should be able to finish the entire weekend so that they're financially like justifying that expense to be there. Or say, they have an event that they could smash later on in the weekend and like knock it out, like it's, their wheelhouse. They know they're gonna win the event, or it's gonna push them up that leaderboard. That's more money in their pocket. So like, you're taking them out of even getting that opportunity to like earn more money, kind of break even on the weekend, or even like win an event and like put their name out there to be able to like sustain their CrossFit career after the games. That's my 2 cents for like, just for those particular parts of the world and the people that don't have that same opportunity or that same privilege where their games experience is paid for.
And what hammers that home is what just was reported by Barbell Spin today. Henrique Moriera and his visa issues, 3 applications, 3 denials, trying to get here to the games. All of those things you have to go through just to get here, and you may be cut after 2 days. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like there's money on the line for every event, and like now there's money 1 through 40, and every place like matters. And a lot of times there's home run hitters that are towards the end of that are on the other side of the cut line. Colton's been cut a few times, I think. I don't want to get that wrong, but like he could win an event at the games. You know, if the right combination is there, that's, you know, that could be a changing moment of the games. Like, and then all of a sudden he gets more sponsors, and like, if he's wearing the right shoes, you're getting extra money. Like, it's just a moment that they can take away from certain athletes that could really shine, or just move up on the leaderboard. Even if it's a few spots, it could be the difference of a few $1,000s. Like, it makes a difference.
Yeah. So, congratulations, guys. While we have you on here, so happy for you guys.
Thank you.
Are you still celebrating?
We're in the parking lot of the doctors because I'm waiting to get an MRI on my elbow.
Of course you are, Lex.
So that's our celebration.
Do you get 2 MRIs a year? Okay.
Be something new.
Oh, you were muted.
Different body parts. So it has to be a different new part of my body that is injured. So.
And eventually you'll just be the bionic woman.
Yep.
That's the goal. Well, thank you guys so much for jumping on and taking the time to vent. We always appreciate your opinions. And enjoy the doctors.
Yep, we'll be in the chat though.
Bye,
See ya.
guys.
Bye, guys.
So we talked about Henrique Moriera and his visa issues. He is on a team, member of Templo SA CrossFit. If he can't make it, his alternate will make it, the team.
Okay.
The team will still be able to make it, but he is struggling right now.
Yeah. No, all of their points completely valid. Like, yeah, it's just, I just really wish they would rethink it. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, Bruce, if you read Lex's comment, Carolyne and Lex just got married last week, I think it was last week. Yeah. So still in that honeymoon phase. I'm in year 26, not in the honeymoon phase anymore. All right.
I'm in 15.
So I wanted to talk about earlier in the week, Proven put out a video where they announced that they were a sponsor of the CrossFit Games. I know, Jamie, you texted me. I know Cheryl texted me. I got a lot of people texting me. I think it was revealed later in the week that it's more of a partnership than a sponsorship, and that a lot of the camps are partnering with them to run a certain aspect at the games. And that is the affiliate on site and some activation centers, things like that, not necessarily having a part in the actual program or anything of the games.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I just think like the impropriety of it, the way that it was announced is just not okay. Like, whether it is just a sponsorship and they're just there doing nothing that has any impact, it didn't look good when it came out. People are going to not read into things and have their own assumptions. And I think that's just terrible. I don't quite understand why don't they just have a booth? Like, you know, there's always Army out there, and like GoWad is out there running things for people to do. Like, why aren't they just one of those?
I think so. You were busy coaching last year. Did you see the affiliate, the on-site affiliate?
Are you talking about like when you walk into Bender Village and there's like just affiliate people can go in and they can like get a workout in? Are you talking about that?
No. So what it is it was a temporarily set up affiliate. Anybody could sign up for a class and do a drop-in, but it was designed to show affiliate owners how you could set up a small gym with not a lot of cost, with not a lot of extras, and still be able to have good quality workouts. And last year they had seminar staff or CrossFit celebrities. The class I attended was coached by Paul Tremblay, and then he coached a class and showed like a good warm up, a good how you address people at the board. It was just kind of like, this is what we think would help a new affiliate owner. And if that's what they're doing and they're contained to that little area, then I'm cool with it. If it's
is Training Think Tank allowed to be there and run one? Is HWPO allowed to? Is Underdogs? Like, is anyone? Like, I don't understand why do only maybe two get chosen to do this.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Mayhem is part of it. I know HWPO is part of it, and I know that Proven is part of it. I don't. So, okay. I reached out to CrossFit and I said, hey, can we get an official statement as to what this means? Because if you're letting the training camps make the announcement, how the hell do we know it's factual, if it's true, or we have no idea what it means? And so far, that was 5 days ago, crickets.
Great.
And that has been my beef with CrossFit this entire season. They let other people have the narrative for 48, 72 hours or a week, and then they try to put the toothpaste back in the tube a week later, and it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess. I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about when we asked the question, like, reach out to these other media people that want to like share information. Like, you would have done it. There's plenty of other channels that would have put out and explained what like the plan was. Give it all. I mean, give it all to.
At least when Jocko Fuel becomes a sponsor of the games, why wasn't there a press release when Proven becomes a partner?
Yeah, I'm still confused at like, so while I was there last year, I know there's always like the fan experience, like you can sign up for a workout, and they have like a lift and a workout. You can sign up for either. Is it that?
Different.
It's not even that. Okay, so it's not even that.
The fan experience became more of like a kids place, and then there was some workout stuff over there as well. So the adults could work out and the kids could play. These were smaller classes because it was a very small affiliate.
Okay.
And they showed like what a lobby could look like, and please hear me out. It was an awesome concept. Like I felt like I learned during that class, and it was a good workout, and we did it with partners and stuff like this. My issue is the lack of communication, which has been my issue the entire freaking season.
Yeah. And I just think it's just weird of them to like even bring other people on for that. Like, are they not pushing cap? Or like, this should not come from HWPO. This should always be run by the seminar staff. And they're the ones who give people L1s, bring you on classes, teach you how to do things. Like, they should be the ones doing it.
Sure, makes sense. But I don't know what it all means. I don't know what all entails. I'm just guessing from seeing what I saw last year and what O'Keefe said on Savan. I'm just piecing things together, and I have no idea. I don't know what it all adds up to because CrossFit won't answer my question.
I mean, yeah, now we're left to speculate and get flustered and got me all worked up. They should just answer some questions.
Right. Like, they could have said, listen, let's make a joint press release. Your videographer can do the video, and we'll make a joint press release. And so everybody understands what it is. It's just dumb.
I agree.
I don't even know if I want to talk about the Dave Castro Week in Review now, because when I did this at the roundtable on yesterday, Carolyne lit me up for a good 15 minutes after the roundtable So I probably should have just kept her on. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play this part of the Dave Castro week in review. And Carolyn's probably going to blow her top again. But we need to talk about it because you need to hear what that is. So with that, I'm gonna, hopefully we can hear this well.
One other piece,
No.
an athlete about he
Dang
mentioned
it.
desire to
We can hear.
announce.
Oh, you can't? I can't.
At the last minute. And really, when I heard that framing of desire to announce the events last minute at the games, in general, I'm not talking about this year, but over the 17 years we've done these, 16, this will be the 17th. It really made me think about the core methodology and what drives the programming and what drives the how we program and how we create the games. And one of the early
Let me know when he's
CrossFit
done with the unknown
was,
and unknowable stuff.
prepare for the unknown and unknowable. And that phrase, when I created the first games, was definitely one of the driving key phrases of the methodology that I wanted to preserve. And prepare for the unknown and unknowable. The way we did that was through another kind of method, a piece from the methodology, a hopper concept. And for the first games, we used a hopper to pull the workouts out and to for one workout and to show the athletes what they were going to do minutes before they did it. And ever since then, the unknown and unknowable aspect of the games has been there. And sometimes we announce workouts a month out. Sometimes we announce workouts a few weeks out. Sometimes we announce workouts a few days out. Sometimes we've announced them a few minutes. Obviously, the few minutes piece is very rare, but we've even done that. All in charter of prepare for the unknown and unknowable. Other things, well, so
has he finished his point yet?
Have to take that, prepare for the unknown and unknowable, and prepare a wide variety of things because they will not know what they're going to do with constraints, I would say. And the constraints come from our definition of CrossFit. CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. So even when we say prepare for the unknown and unknowable, we're going to channel it down to constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity as kind of a charter or a guidelines for how far outside of the box we go. So constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. You wouldn't find shooting in there. And that's why people are always like, hey, will you guys ever do anything with
He's talking about shooting right now.
That is unknown and unknowable, but it's not within our definition of fitness.
Okay. I figured out how to use my headphones now.
Okay.
Maybe not. So anyway, Carolyn and I talked about this yesterday, and she thinks it's time that we get rid of unknown and unknowable. There are too many leaks. There are too many leaks of workouts, and she has been present for cases where athletes knew what was coming at the games, and she had no clue. You have demo team members or test members who are part of a training camp who share that information back with people in their training camp, and that she thinks it's time that we do away with the unknown and unknowable aspect of this for the CrossFit Games. So I wanted to get your thoughts as a fellow athlete, what you thought about that.
I personally love the idea of chaos. I like that idea, and I wish it would play out properly and it really would be unknown to everybody. But I totally agree. I don't think that is the case, and I don't know how you can combat that without having one person possibly that you that Dave completely trusts. Seriously, just Dave and one other person. And if for some reason somebody knows it, then we know that where the problem is. But I think that like would probably be your only way to like keep one workout completely unknown. It sucks because I think that's a huge test of fitness. I prefer those moments where everyone walks out there and this is what you're doing and figure out the best strategy for you, not try it in your gym and then go back and watch video and figure out, well, that didn't work. I should probably break here. And that's gaming it. And I'd like to see people go and execute and see what they can do. But I agree. I don't think it's quite possible. So, I mean, it almost is like just, I guess, release them like 2 weeks before so everyone kind of has a shot.
So going into the conversation with Carolyne, I was exactly like you. I thought that you needed to have unknown and unknowable because then it favors the athlete that can figure things out, right? And not just do it on the fly.
Yeah.
The more she talked to me is we can't have that because we can't get it to where nobody knows. Right? And until we do, and here's the crux of the problem, right? We only know there's only so many people that can test these workouts and give valid data back.
Sure. There's gotta be one person that he trusts that he could, or maybe two, one male, one female, that he trusts enough to, I mean, test it once or twice privately with these one or two people, and that's it. It doesn't leave the room. Buffer some time, or, I mean, it's got to be the right workout. Like, you should be able, as a programmer, look at a workout, and it shouldn't matter. He probably doesn't even need anyone to test it. Quite honest, like, he could test it. Like, if you're doing like wall balls and bar muscle ups and whatever, like, you know that we're at 1.2 seconds per wall ball. Figure out the absolute best possible situation with zero chalking, turnaround, whatever, and add a few minutes to it and write the workout and see who can blow it out of the water, I guess. Like, if you're a good enough programmer, you can figure that out. He doesn't need somebody to test something that, if he really wants it to be unknown and unknowable.
Yeah, but who's going to be able to pull a sled to test if it's going to fold under or not?
Well, I'm not talking about every workout. I'm saying it would be nice to have one truly unknown workout that maybe is a hopper, maybe is something like chaos. Like, nobody knows the rep schemes, like nobody. I don't know, but would it be nice to see one workout completely unknown? I would like it, but it has to be kept secret somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not going to solve it tonight, but I did want to bring that up because he said it in that week in review, and Carolyne and I talked about it yesterday. So I definitely wanted to share her opinions because she has been in the middle of it and seen it with her own eyes that people actually know what the workouts are before they pop up.
Yeah.
Carolyne says, even if you test certain events or movements for CrossFit, it's not chosen that year at the games. You have an advantage going into the following season on ideas they have.
I agree with that.
Tristan says, for the people for known and unknowable doesn't mean testing them with it. So Kenneth, you're assuming that it was kept secret, but if they tested it, some people knew. And the key is that information is getting leaked to others. Even though they had a curtain over the pegboards and they put on the big show for us to think, it doesn't mean that people at that event didn't know ahead of time. And Carolyne shared with me instances yesterday where she's on a bus and an athlete in front of her is saying, well, I know this, this, and this are in the next workout, before it was announced to the group.
Yeah, that's not okay.
So, and then Tristan follows up. If you have a broad enough test, then you know who is the best at the known things, and a good indicator of who will be best at anything still unknown.
No, we're not surprised.
So anyway, so that's that. We're already up on the hour. This show is turning out to be a long show every week.
You should just budget an hour and 15.
Jamie, you just talk too much.
Sorry. We still got to do our teams.
Carolyne, I'm saying, Carolyne's saying, I'm not saying people are leaking info. I'm just saying that is happening almost every year. Scott Schweitzer, is saying people are leaking information. I am saying that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we have ranked the top 10 teams. And this was not an easy task because just finding out what 4 members are on a team can be challenging. So another huge shout out to Holly Dugan. Go follow her at DataWad on Instagram. She is the one that is putting together all this information for us. And without her, I would not have been able to compile a top 10 team list. So here we go. And the chat is still fired up about the leaking. And so I'll just finish it up with Carolyne says there are people who take the NDA very seriously and would never say anything. And I agree. There are people in this world that are rule followers like me who, like, my wife gets so frustrated that I will not park it like near a fire hydrant, or I will not park, like I will not. And she just hates that I do that. But there are other people that will park by a fire hydrant and not care. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to look at the team rankings. Again, what I did for the most part of this was Holly made us a combined spreadsheet as if all the teams competed in the same area and how they finished. So what I will say is I use that as my gentle guide, but I went with a lot of gut on this one. A lot of gut.
You guys are savage in the chat tonight.
Okay. That Benadryl is drying me out. All right. I would never park in a handicap spot. And Travis, I always put my sharp shopping cart back. Always. So here we go. Let's start with 10 to 6. So, Jamie, read 10 through 6 on your list.
All right. My top 10 through 6. 10, AB CrossFit Mayhem. 9, Mayhem Independence. 8, Move Fast, Lift Heavy. 7, CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue. 6, No Shortcuts.
Mine is 10 is plus 64 CrossFit 6'4 Army Endgame. 9, CrossFit OBA. 8, CrossFit Kilo 2. 7, No Shortcuts. And 6, CrossFit Invictus. I was shocked to see CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue in the second 5 of Jamie's list.
Yeah. I don't know. I watch a lot of their videos. I just don't know how, like, I don't know. I don't know about them.
Yeah. With CrossFit Invictus, I know people are probably going to ask about that. And it is, Jorge was not healthy at semis. And that worries me going into the games.
Well, I want to say Oslo's one of their men had an issue.
sick.
Yeah, he was just sick.
He was just sick.
Okay. Yeah, that's what they always say. There's always something more going on. Yeah, exactly, Ken. You're not Canadian. Get out of here.
So any other thought processes? No Shortcuts won Europe. We have them both in the bottom 5.
I know.
Top 10.
I wanted to put them higher. I don't know. When you pull out those East and West, it was the same for individuals of North America. It's just hard to pull the other countries up high. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and then you continue to shock me with 5 through 1. Jamie, go ahead.
All right. Number 5, I have Miss CrossFit Franco's Misfits. 4, CrossFit Omnia. 3, Tori and Mayhem. 2, CrossFit Invictus. 1, Proven East Nashville.
And I had AB CrossFit Mayhem at 5, CrossFit Omnia at 4, CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue 3rd, CrossFit Franco's Misfits 2, and Proven CrossFit East Nashville 1. The reason I went with Proven first is if you look at the combined scores, they were in the first week and they would have won 4 of the 6 events at semifinals.
Yeah.
I think they're a buzzsaw, and as long as they are healthy, they have the 2 fittest women in the team world, and Tim Paulson and Tola are not shabby either. So right. I think they're going to do pretty well. CrossFit Franco's Misfits for me, the number 2, because they have been traveling the country together, dropping in at different gyms, but they're together. And I think that being on the road and doing that is going to grow them closer together, and they're going to perform better as a team. And then Oslo Navy Blue with 2 second place finishes in the last 2 years. They have it to podium again. So I have them 3rd.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Proven is they're not touchable. I don't believe. I think they're going to win by kind of a long shot this year. And then to me, it's just up in the air. I think it's going to be extremely close, like 2 through 7. I think is going to be extremely close. Like, I think even the 2nd and 3rd are going to be fighting all weekend. It was extremely close in the West for the teams, the 3 teams tied.
Yep.
So, like, I just feel like it's going to be events like that. And you throw in some of the other teams from the other regions and they break up some points here and there. I just think it's going to be extremely close. Bruce wants us to talk about the difference between AB Mayhem between you and me.
I almost moved them into the podium position because of their performance in the East and the crowd that they bring. But when I looked at the numbers and looked at what the other teams have brought in the past, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. I was not a fan of their movement. And like, if I could have not put them in my list at all, I probably wouldn't have. That kind of, you're well aware that kind of stuff bothers me. So I probably just won't be rooting for them, but maybe they'll move better. And what I'm hoping is they actually will get no reps. They're not moving well and actually fall where they maybe should. So, yeah.
So with that movement, so I remember when you pointed it out to me, that was one event.
Yeah.
Did you feel it went on the entire weekend or just that one event?
No, it was basically that one event. I think their movement outside of that was pretty good. It's just thrusters frustrate me, and when you like try to shorten them, it just frustrates me.
Okay. I just wanted to ask. So with that, let's finish up with the CrossFit Doc. Did you see it?
I have not watched it, no.
Okay. Then we don't need to really talk about it.
I'll try to watch it before next Thursday. That can be one of our topics.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of them anymore. I don't know why I keep buying it.
I don't want to buy it. That's kind of my issue right now.
Like, I'm never happy when it's over because I
Right.
think I just don't think, and I said it like on the weight loss show. I know that's probably not the appropriate place to talk about it, but to me, they missed like major stories from last year's games. If you're going to focus on the event itself, then focus on all the aspects of the event. If you're going to focus on the people, then focus on the people. Don't half-ass both. So like, weather was a major component to last year's games. They had to move events from day 1 to day 2. They had to flip the order. None of that was mentioned in the documentary. They had to, the Capitol, the finish of Rebecca and the crowd coming in, not even talked about. Like, and that's just a couple of them. There's a bunch that, like, I know I'm friends with Ariel, but like, she won Elevated Elizabeth, barely mentioned, and she's like a blurred version of herself behind Mal, so they can get a picture of Mal finishing. Like, it's just like, if you're gonna do it as an event documentary, then document the event and talk about everybody who wins. If you're going to talk about the people and you're going to say, hey, we're going to focus on these 4 people, then focus on those people and do in-depth backstories. And Lex, I am not dogging Mariah for this. This has been a trend even when Marston and Heber were doing it, that this was going in a way where we lost the backstories of the athletes and we didn't get the full recap of the events. Like, I would want one or the other done full on, way more than what we're getting today. So I'm not blaming the director on this. I know that it has to be, that this is coming down from CrossFit on what they wanted it to be. And I think they were so afraid to go in one direction or the other that it just kind of missed on all fronts. It was almost like it was an homage to Tia being her last year and she was going to retire. And then she didn't retire and they lost the ending to the story.
Yeah.
And it just is blah.
There's got to be more footage though, like change the whole, and they took forever to put it out. So like, I don't know. I watched your roundtable and I agree with Amy, like mini releases, single events, however you want to do it, I think would be the way to go. Like people would eat that up.
So the only thing that makes me optimistic, and Cooper brought it up in our show this afternoon, is the company Box to Box is who does the tennis series on Netflix, the golf series, the F1 series. Like, he has a friend there, and his hope is that, and he said it, I don't know if he meant to say it, but he said that like it's something CrossFit wants, but Box to Box would have to sign off on it. Right. And he doesn't know why they wouldn't, because it's a gold mine of stories.
Yeah.
Right. And so I don't want to read too much into it because I don't want to misquote Cooper at all. But when we were talking about that aspect of it, it got me excited because I heard that little tidbit, and maybe it's because I wanted to hear it. But man, if CrossFit got a Netflix series about the CrossFit season, my gosh, like, I'm thinking about canceling Netflix because the price went up. I would not cancel. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Travis, I can see the sarcasm dripping off that comment. So, yeah. I just hope that what I heard was right, and that's something we do see.
Yeah,
because that would be freaking awesome. Well, I know Sarah Sigmund's daughter is going to be appearing soon in 15 minutes. So I don't want to take up any more of your time. I want to make sure everybody can go to the bathroom, get a snack, so they can listen to Sarah, because I know all the changes she's made in the last few months. I'm sure people want to hear the whys behind all that. And so I want to make sure that you guys go ahead and head over for that. With that, this has been a fun one.
Yeah.
We had Carolyne Prevost drop in on our show.
I know. That was awesome.
Yeah. We just got to get her fired up every week. So she drops in for 10 minutes.
There you go.
The Prevost segment. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will catch everybody next time on Thursday Night CrossFit Talk. Later.